If you've been living in SpongeBob's pineapple for the last few days and haven't heard about the Nijisanji situation, don't worry. I'll give you a little brief synopsis of what's going on and why everyone's kind of in a tussle about it. Everyone's in an uproar. They're kind of freaking out about it. It's really huge news at the moment. I mean, it's big. So Nijisanji is a company who employs VTubers. If you don't know what VTubers are, they are the streamers that you see, and they have anime characters. They don't show themselves on stream. They have a character and like kind of like a persona. And so they employ them and they sell merch for them. They give them an avatar to work with. However, they're only allowed to like use that avatar for the amount of time that they work for Nijisanji. So let's say you have a contract with them for 2 years, and after the 2 years is up, you leave. Well, the avatar you were using for that 2 years is gone. So you can imagine why leaving a company like Nijisanji can be kind of a daunting thought, because your whole persona needs to change the second that you leave that company. So one word that you're going to hear me say a few times is graduation. Nijisanji, when you leave a company like Nijisanji, it can go one of two ways. Either termination or you can graduate. The more favorable option is graduation, because that means you kind of left on good terms. However, even though you left on good terms, you still have no right to the avatar that you were using while you were with that company. So you can imagine why a lot of people don't want to graduate, or they have like conflicting feelings about graduating, even if it is really the right thing that they should do. So this whole situation that I'm about to talk about has to do with a VTuber called Celine Tatsuki. She goes by two different names. Celine Tatsuki is the name that she went by when she worked at Nijisanji, and Doki Bird is the name that she goes by, that she went by before, and the name that she goes by now, because like I said, she's not allowed to use that name or the avatar from, Nijisanji, which, if you think about it, is really sad, because the only reason that that avatar and that name has any meaning is because of the VTubers. Like, to begin with, once you take away the VTuber, the skin and it has no meaning anymore. So I don't even know what they do with that. Like, I guess it's just property they have for like the next VTuber, but they can't use the same one. That would just be weird. Anyways, I'm going off on a little bit of a tangent. So the whole situation arises when documents got leaked to Nijisanji of Doki Bird, and like she was in the hospital because of an accident. We came to know that it had to do with the attempt on her own life, which is, of course, a horrible situation and probably something that you wouldn't want people to know about. And so you can understand why she would be very upset that that becomes like public knowledge, especially like among her friend group. And Nijisanji, that just is a bad, like, no one would want that to be public knowledge. The documents also had some claims from Doki Bird or Celine Tatsuki, where she kind of claimed that a few of the people that she was working with didn't treat her very favorably, and that Nijisanji actually had some favoritism going on within the company. So that's basically the bare bones of the situation. Nijisanji got a hold of these documents that they shouldn't have been able to access somehow. The way that they were able to access them is unknown. Like, we really just don't know. What I kind of theorize might have happened is one of the lawyers did it. Like, the only people that were supposed to have any access to these documents were the lawyers. So it only makes sense, like, that one of them would have leaked the information. But why they would do that, I have absolutely no idea, because I would imagine if they get caught, it would be some very severe repercussions. So to give you a little bit of a background of Nijisanji and their business practices, the way that they treat their VTubers, just to get a little taste of exactly the kind of company Nijisanji is, they only give their VTubers 1 to 2% of merch sales, which, if you don't know, is absolutely abysmal. It is a bunch of baloney. I've never heard of such a catastrophe of a deal ever. It's such it feels like a scam, and I'm not even the person being scammed. So the reason why this is a scam, if you're having a little bit of a smooth brain moment, is because the only reason that the merch is able to sell is because these VTubers exist, and because there are fans of the VTubers. Without the merch, even if the VTubers didn't design the merch, they didn't put effort into making the merch, they still deserve a significantly larger cut than what they are getting. 1 to 2% is just absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. Think about that for a second. If a shirt sells for $60, right? $60. They are only going to get 60 cents from that shirt being sold. That is so horrendously bad. That is so bad. That should give you a little bit of an idea of the kind of company that Nijisanji is. They're kind of just scummy. There's actually a meme going around where the CEO of Nijisanji came out, like, kind of gloating that he was able to purchase a yacht off of the backs of his VTubers, which is, there was no actual proof that happened, but I wouldn't be that surprised if that really did happen. Now, you read the title right. I think that Charlie was wrong on one of his points in the Nijisanji situation, and that specifically has to do with the 3 supposed friends of Doki Bird that came out for some reason and made their own statements on everything that's been going on. And I've got to say, every single thing that they said was a bunch of doohickey. I don't really know if it was scripted or not. I don't think it was. There's like 2 reasons why I can think that they came out with this, video of explaining their side. One is they want to kind of just ride the clout train. They want to try to get some new fans, maybe try to get some, bring in some new people, which if that is the angle, oh my God, it's the most empty skull tactic I've ever heard. My God, because people right now are just shitting on them. They're dropping eggs on their noggins, just wondering why they even came out with the video, because it just makes them look like douchebags. And if they didn't come out with the video, they probably wouldn't even really be mentioned at all. Nobody would be associating them with this. And Nijisanji, the corporation, would be like the sole bearer of this burden. But no, these 3 VTubers felt the need to just entangle themselves in the, mess that this is. And the second reason is possibly guilt, because I feel like these 3 people are not actually friends of Doki Bird. I do not feel like these people were friends of her at all. I feel like these people might actually be the ones that potentially bullied her, and the ones that Doki Bird talked about in the documents that they talked about getting released, where Doki Bird made claims against certain people that worked for Nijisanji that weren't treating her right or were bullying her. And so these 3 people, their names are Alira Pandora, Vox Akuma, and Ike Eveland. They all kind of sound guilty. Like, they seem to feel like the more they say Doki Bird is their friend, the more people are gonna believe it. They consistently repeat, Doki Bird's our friend. Coming from a friend, that's so hurtful that she would think that. She's my friend. I can't believe she would have done that, but she's my friend. Why? And it just comes off as insincere, because if they really were friends, then you would think that they would be supporting her in this endeavor. God knows I would, especially if I was as friendly, especially if I had like a best friend. If I was as friendly with my best friend as they seem to think that they were with Doki Bird, I would absolutely not be taking Nijisanji's side. Nijisanji isn't going to forcefully have every one of their VTubers graduate, considering that's the only way that they make money. Anyways, the first guy that talks, Vox Akuma, he has a PR brain. He kind of knows how to tiptoe around the whole, he knows how to not get himself in trouble with what he says. Now, the second guy that speaks, his name is Ike Eveland. He just totally shits the bed. He outs everyone. He's like, yeah, when I read those documents, I was hurt. And if you don't understand why that's wrong, it's because they were never supposed to read these documents to begin with. It's illegal that they saw them. So Ike came out and just outed them, saying, yeah, when I read those documents and Doki Bird claimed that we had mistreated her, it hurt me as a friend. As a friend of hers, I can't believe it. And that's kind of like the tone that they had. But why would Doki Bird make those claims of being, bullied or mistreated if they weren't true? Like, if you're good friends with somebody, you're not going to make claims against them for no reason when they're not true. It's not something somebody's going to do. So, yeah, I just don't think that these 3 are friends at all. And in Charlie's video, he had the stance of they were friends. What Nijisanji's making them make this public statement, which maybe they are making them, but Charlie didn't really seem to see through the fact that they weren't friends with Doki Bird. Like, that's so clear throughout this, so clear in that, like I said, I feel like they really were the ones that bullied her to the brink, really, because like I said, she made an attempt on her own life, and I think that they really pushed her over the edge. Now, in what capacity? I'm not 100% sure. I don't know exactly what's said in the documents. I don't know in what ways they bullied her. But I do, I have a real suspicion that that's probably what happened. Especially considering that she felt the need to record them, like record private conversations. And that's probably just to, you know, be safe on her own end. If something happens and she needs to come out with proof of something, she wants to be able to have that proof, instead of just people having to take her at her word. Which at the moment really is pretty strong, considering it seems like she has built up a case against these people, a pretty good case. So yeah, guys, that's basically about it. That's the whole story. It does go like a little bit deeper when it comes to like other streamers and stuff, but really that's like the meat and potatoes of what's going on. So yeah, guys, hope you enjoyed. Leave a comment down below, but that's all I got. See ya.